So, let's talk about your 30s. This is that decade, right? You're probably finally earning a decent salary, but then, bam, life hits you with a mortgage, maybe kids, and a retirement account that's basically screaming for attention. It's a tricky financial landscape, for sure, but it's also the single most important decade for setting yourself up for life.
And doesn't it feel exactly like that? It feels like your bank account is being pulled in a million different directions, and it's so easy to just feel completely overwhelmed. One minute you're celebrating a raise, and the next you're seriously wondering how anyone actually affords to be a grown-up.
That really is the big question. Because look, the decisions you make right now, in this decade, are going to either launch you toward a really comfortable future, or they're going to leave you scrambling to catch up for the next 30 years. So this explainer, this is your roadmap. It's how we're going to turn that chaos into clarity and ultimately into real wealth.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. We've got 4 parts. First, we're going to build a rock-solid foundation. Then, we'll start fueling the wealth engine. After that, we'll focus on securing your future self. And finally, we're going to talk about the real end goal here, genuine financial confidence.
Okay, let's start with the absolute essentials. Before you can build a skyscraper, you need a solid foundation, right? So these first few milestones are all about playing defense, plugging the leaks, and building a stable base.
All right, milestone number 1, get to zero on all consumer debt. And I mean all of it. Credit cards, student loans, car payments, the whole shebang. Your mortgage is really the only exception here. This other debt, it's like trying to run in financial quicksand. It just drags down every single dollar you earn. And think about it this way. If you're paying just $1,000 a month on all that consumer debt, that's $12,000 a year. Over the 10 years of your 30s, that's $120,000 that you paid to lenders instead of having it invested and growing for you. We're talking about a massive, massive opportunity cost here. Next up, your credit score. And we're not just aiming for good here, we're aiming for excellent. We're talking 800 or higher. You might think, it doesn't matter if I'm not borrowing money, but for the biggest purchase of your life, your house, it matters a ton. Okay, so check this out. On a $400,000 mortgage, having excellent credit versus just good credit might only be a 0.5% difference in your interest rate. But look at the total interest paid over the life of the loan. That small difference adds up to nearly $50,000 for the exact same house. 50 grand! That right there is the power of a top-tier credit score.
And here's the scary part. Your score is so fragile. Just one single late payment can tank your score by as much as 180 points. And that mistake stays on your report for 7 years. One slip-up could literally cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So the takeaway? It's simple. Pay every single bill, on time, every time, no exceptions.
All right, the last piece of this foundation is a bulletproof emergency fund. You know, back in your 20s, maybe 3 months of expenses felt safe. But in your 30s, the potential emergencies just get bigger and more expensive. The water heater breaks, a kid needs braces, maybe your parents need some help. You need 6 to 12 months of living expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, ready for anything life throws at you. Okay, so our foundation is solid. The leaks are plugged. Now it's time to switch from playing defense to playing offense. This next part is all about the active strategies that are going to fuel your wealth-building engine for the long haul. You've probably heard the rule of thumb. Have 3 times your annual salary saved for retirement by the time you hit 40. So if the average salary is around 62 grand, you're shooting for a nest egg of about $186,000. Now, that number might sound huge, but get this. If you can hit that number by 40, thanks to the magic of compound interest, it could grow to over $2 million by retirement without you saving another dime. That is the power of compounding. In your 30s, time is literally your superpower. But here's the thing, saving is tough, especially when you run into this classic trap, lifestyle inflation. You know the drill. You get a raise, so you get a nicer car. A bonus comes through, so you upgrade your apartment. Your income goes up, but somehow your expenses magically rise to meet it, and you're left no better off. So what's the secret weapon against this? It's automation. The moment you get that raise or that bonus, before your brain even has time to figure out new ways to spend it, you automatically direct half of that increase straight into your retirement or savings accounts. You won't even miss the money you never got used to having. It's how you build wealth without feeling like you're sacrificing. Now, if you have kids or you're planning on it, this one's for you. College costs are absolutely exploding. We're talking average annual costs of $40,000 for public universities and a jaw-dropping $70,000 for private ones. You've got to start planning like yesterday.
And the best tool in the toolbox for this is a 529 plan. Think of it kind of like a 401k, but for education. Your money goes in, it grows tax-free, and then it all comes out completely tax-free for qualified school expenses. It's an incredible way to let compound interest go to work for your kid's future.
All right, we've covered defense, we've covered offense. Now let's talk about the big picture stuff that secures everything you've built for the long term. This is the stuff that, let's be honest, most of us tend to procrastinate on, but it's so important. The phrase financial plan sounds super formal and intimidating, right? So let's just break it down with this simple acronym, BRET. B is for budgeting and saving, knowing where your money's going. R is for retirement planning. E is for estate planning, protecting your family. T is for tax planning, keeping more of what you earn. And that last T is for tracking your progress. See, it turns a scary idea into a totally manageable system.
I know. Estate planning sounds, well, morbid. But I want you to reframe that. Think of it as one of the most loving things you can do for your family. Answering these tough questions now and getting basic documents like a will in place, it protects your family from total chaos during what would already be an incredibly difficult time.
Now, for a milestone that you almost never hear about in financial planning, but it might just be the most important one on this list. Your health is your single greatest financial asset, period. The habits you build in your 30s or the damage you do will have huge financial ripple effects down the line.
Check this out. The average American spends over $300,000 on healthcare in their lifetime. By investing in things like preventative care, good nutrition, and exercise now, you could easily slice $60,000 or more right off that total. And that's not even counting the lost income from being sick. Investing in your health has one of the highest financial returns you can possibly get.
So we've covered 9 big milestones, but honestly, they all lead to this one. The 10th and most important milestone isn't a number in your bank account. It's not about how much money you have. It's about a feeling.
And that feeling is what we call financial confidence. It's the peace of mind you get from knowing your numbers, from having a plan, and from having systems in place. It's what lets you sleep at night, even if the stock market has a bad week, because you know a surprise expense won't derail your entire life. That feeling, that is the real goal.
Look, your 30s are your financial prime time. You've still got decades for that compounding magic to work for you. So don't let this list overwhelm you. You can't change what you did or didn't do yesterday. But what you can do is pick one, just one of these. Which one are you going to take the first small step on today? Because that's all it takes to start.